stopping by. I'm so excited to share this video with you and walk through what is about to become utter chaos of my bookshelves. So bookshelf organization is something that has needed to happen for a very long time. I have had my books in a rainbow for a couple years now, and while I do love the happiness and the serotonin boost that it brings me, I am getting so frustrated with not being able to have big fantasy series together, or just even being able to have simple things like all my favorite authors' books on the same shelf. I honestly feel like a lot of people don't do the whole rainbow aesthetic anymore, and while it's been one of my favorite things I've ever done, I think it is time to close that chapter. Even though I just did a big unhaul where I unhauled about 30 books, you will see later in this video that I unhaul quite a bit more. I feel like the past couple years with my book buying habits have just been kind of out of control. I'm not gonna get too far into it because this could be like an entire another video discussion, but I feel like publishers are pushing out so many different editions of the same book, and I have been one of those people that has given in to the consumerism, and that is something that I did not want to do this year. I have gotten to the point where my brain is so chaotic with all of the books that I own, and another big problem about the rainbow bookshelf for me is it's really pretty when you first put it together, but as time goes on, you're shoving books onto shelves. It gets to the point where it doesn't even look like a rainbow anymore. All of that to say, I have always wanted to create my office shelves, which are these, the ones you guys always see. I've always wanted to transform them into fantasy shelves. If you're new here, my #1 top favorite genre is fantasy. I grew up reading Harry Potter and Hunger Games and all those types of books, and that really made me the reader that I am today. I'm such a big fantasy enthusiast, and with all of the beautiful editions, I have Fairy Loot and Owl Crate, I just haven't been able to display all the beautiful books that I love and all of my favorites. So that is the goal with all of these shelves here, which you can probably tell they already look different because yes, I'm filming this intro after I did everything, because one day I was just like, you know what, let's just do it. I've got a slow week, so let's just go ahead and do it, and I didn't really have time to film an intro. I just kind of went for it, and that's pretty much what this video looks like. It's very chaotic. I tried to walk you through the process. I think I did one of these videos 2 or 3 years ago, and it was just a really fun time. So I'm gonna have a lot of B-roll in the middle. We're gonna do an unhaul at the end. I need to count how many books I unhauled. I'm looking at the stack right now and it's massive. But to start off this whole process, I actually started out with removing all of the books from these shelves that were not fantasy books. You can tell that the shelves get very bare very quickly. I kind of wanted to see what space and room that I actually had. So thank you for watching this process in this chaotic video. I kind of just turned on the camera and went with what I felt like doing and what I felt like filming at the moment, but maybe this will actually inspire you to do some spring cleaning or unhauling yourself. Let's just go ahead and start the video. Okay, basically step 1 and 2 is complete. Number 1, taking everything off the shelves that is not fantasy, and as you can see, it's pretty bare. Step 2 was to wipe and dust everything down and vacuum and kind of just clean a little bit, because I cannot tell you the last time I actually wiped down these shelves, and it's been probably months, but I love just having a clean mindset. So next we are going to bring in from the landing. I have 2 shelves worth, probably maybe even 3 worth of fantasy out on the landing. That is now going to come in here, and then next we have to take care of all of the books in the middle of the floor right here. Those are not fantasy books, so those have to go onto the landing, and whatever cannot fit on those shelves out there is just gonna have to be unhauled. But so far so good. I think I've decided that I'm gonna use these very top shelves as kind of like display shelves for some of my favorite books, Jellycats, plants, just like all of the fun stuff. And then these middle shelves, I still don't know what I'm gonna do with yet. It's kind of like trial and error at this point, especially because these shelves are open. It's gonna be kind of difficult to have everything spined up now. We are just gonna see what happens. So far so good. Let's just keep it going. More books to unhaul. Stopping here for day 1 of the project. All of my fantasy books are now just thrown up here, and it's been really nice to see like how much extra space I have. It's not a whole lot extra, which I'm kind of surprised, but hopefully I planned it well. We're still gonna have to get to this stack tomorrow because all of that has to go on the shelf out on the landing, and there's no way it's gonna fit, so that's gonna be interesting. And then over here we have a nice unhaul pile going, so we're for sure making some pretty good progress. That is a wrap on day 1. Hello everyone, welcome to day 2 of this project. Excuse my morning voice. So tired today. I always underestimate how long this is going to take. Here's the progress we've made, which the top looks pretty good, but then the bottom, there's like, what is happening? Essentially, I just started taking all the authors that have multiple of their book and kind of grouping together a series and everything. The rest of everything is just kind of like standalones, and we have so much room left. So we obviously have the Harry Potter shelf. We have Fairy Loot Owl Crate Special Edition. We have The Hobbit, and then of course The Hunger Games. Of course we have Sarah J. Maas. We love it. But I think these other 2 rows are going to be dedicated to my favorite authors like Rebecca Ross, B. Schwab, Isabella Banez, any other people that I have special editions is going to go on these 2 if I can squeeze them. And then the rest is just going to be by alphabetical order, and then I'm just going to face out some books that I really love. But let's not forget we still have these stacks to go through and put them on my white shelf. Okay, it's about 2 hours later and everything has finally made it on the shelf. This makes me so happy. We're gonna keep slowly chipping away at this eventually. So this is next on the task list. I don't think it will take too much time. I don't think I'm unhauling any of this. Romance and historical, mystery thriller, a little bit of horror, and that is just like a mix. So it's already kind of separated. I have the shelves, I know where they're going. It's just gonna take some strength to put them all there. why I say end of this video, but we're about to do a big unhaul. I just counted the giant 4 stacks in front of me and it is 75 books, which means I've unhauled at least 100 books this year because I just did a 30+ book unhaul. I'm very proud of myself, but I'm also just begging you all that if you see any books that you like in this unhaul, please go to my Pango books and purchase these because I want them out of my house. But I also really would love for my books to go to people that support me because I love you guys. I have some great Fairy Loot editions. All my books are like in perfect condition. Here comes the rapid fire. I'm not going to explain exactly why I'm getting rid of these books. I'm just going to show you what I'm getting rid of. I feel like a completely different reader this year because I feel like even at the beginning of last year I would have never been able to let go of a lot of these books. I'm not a rereader, and that is a huge reason why I get rid of books. If I don't give it a 4 or 5 star, it's gotta go. So let's just go ahead and start us off. I have all of the books over here in case I keep reaching over here. We have the Crescent Moon Tea Room. Looks super cute, looks super cozy. Have not really seen anyone talk about it. I have a Magic Steeped in Poison. I honestly really love this cover, but still haven't gotten around to it. I think it's a trilogy at this point and I just don't feel like reading it. We have a Stuart Turton, The Devil in the Dark Water. I'm going to be giving this to my sister. She loves this author. I still haven't read from this author, so I will just borrow this back from her if I really want to read it at some point. Megan Collins, who is an author I recently read from and really did like her book, but I've just had this for far too long. I got it super cheap and I can get it from my library. We have Other Birds by Sarah Addison Allen. Still have not read from this author. It looks more like magical realism, which isn't really my vibe. I prefer more fantasy. We have this Vicious Grace. I tried reading it, couldn't really get into it. The Last House on Needless Street. Love this when I read it. Absolutely never gonna reread it. I feel like it's a one-time experience. I've tried to read this author's other books, just have not connected with her other ones. We have a book of the month, Agatha Christie. I read this once, don't feel like I need to reread it. I will probably watch a TV show at some point. While I do love Courtney Walsh, this book was not my favorite of hers and I'm never gonna reread it. We also have Song of Silver, Flame Like Night. This book is beautiful. It was honestly just a cover buy. I might enjoy it. I don't know. I have The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. Again, this book just sounded interesting at the time, but I really don't know if it's gonna be my cup of tea. It's kind of like a Sherlock Holmes vibe, but in a fantasy world, I think. I have House of Marion. I have never heard of this author before. Stephanie Garber did blurb this. I do love Stephanie Garber. This is just not high on my radar at all right now. Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahurin. I'm also unhauling the Serpent and Dove. I loved Serpent and Dove. She did something in this book that I absolutely hated and I never finished the last book, and I don't think I will ever go back to reread and finish the last book. Dagger in the Flame. I feel like I could potentially get into this one. I feel like a lot of people were hyped for it and then I was seeing iffy things. Yes, I could keep it, but I'm just losing interest. Same thing with The Scarlet Veil. I am not a huge vampire girly and I don't know. I really do love Shelby Mahurin's writing, but I would rather this go to someone I know is for sure going to enjoy it. We have The Jasmine Throne. Honestly, I don't like this cover. I was hearing great things about it at the time and I haven't seen anyone like revisit it in a long time, but nothing about this stands out to me. I definitely stick more to young adult fantasy rather than adult. Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. I have tried reading The Mortal Instruments, could not get into it. I do have her Clockwork Prince, Princess, whatever that series is called. I just don't know if Cassandra Clare is going to be for me. And then I have Feybound, which I have heard really great things about. Couldn't tell you what it's about. I love the cover, but it just doesn't sound interesting to me anymore. Moving on to Holiday Romance, one of my all-time favorite Christmas reads, but I don't think I'm ever going to reread it. I really don't want to keep Christmas books because the only time I read Christmas books is literally in December. We also have You by Caroline Kepnes. I love the show. I ate the show up, but I don't know. I don't want to take up the shelf space of like 5 books. The Lighthouse Witches by CJ Cook is one that I really enjoyed. I definitely want to read from this author again. It was a one-time wonder where I'm not gonna reread it. The plot twist was great. The vibes were great. Definitely recommend. Style A for Aunties. Love, love, love this book. book, but I'm actually going to be unhauling the second one as well because I heard the second one was not great. The Sirens, which just came out, I actually was sent this by the publisher. I did not like Wayward at all. That is why I'm not keeping this one. We have Never Saw Me Coming, which is an older thriller about like a teen that's like a psychopath or a serial killer. Sounds very interesting. I just haven't read it yet. Library once again. I tried getting through the adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi. Was really actually enjoying it last summer. I think I made it, yeah, like 125 pages in, but it just didn't stick with me. I think I want something more lighthearted when it comes to pirate stories, but I might try something from this author in the future. I have Laini Taylor's Smoke and Bone. I honestly think these covers are really weird. Don't love it. She hasn't really written much at all recently. I did like Strange the Dreamer. I don't know. I'm just losing interest in that one. The Hexologist that just came out recently. I haven't seen many people talk about it, and it could be one of my favorites of the year, but there's just other books I want to prioritize. We have Five Broken Blades. It was a cover buy. It was a sprayed edge buy. I'm not gonna lie. The Lost Ticket by Freya Sampson. Still haven't read anything by this author. This sounds really cute and heartfelt. May end up keeping it, but I just have other romance I want to get to first. No Exit by Taylor Adams, one of my favorite mystery thrillers. I hated the TV adaptation. Never gonna reread this. I used to love Jennifer McMahon, but her newer stuff has not been my cup of tea. I don't know if I'm going to read from her again, but I remember absolutely loving this. It kind of sent me into the segue of the mystery thriller horror genre. I definitely still recommend her books. I am sick of seeing this on my shelf. I absolutely love Sorcery of Thorns, but don't know if I'm gonna read any more of her books. Like I said, I'm getting rid of Serpent and Dove as well. And then we have Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. Loved the book, loved the TV show. I was so mind blown. One of the very first mystery thrillers that I ever read. I don't have a reason to keep it. Better Left Unsent by Leah Lewis. I think I tried reading one of her books at some point. DNF'd it. The publisher sent me this, so I'm not really losing anything. I'm just gonna be honest. We have Five Stone Rings by Gracie Ruth Mitchell. This was cute. It was okay. I do like this author. She is like a no spice romance author. I'm just never gonna reread a Christmas book. They Drown Our Daughters by Katrina Monroe. I actually thought this was an ARC, but it's a finished copy. It sounds really good. It sounds very Jennifer McMahon, and I've heard great things about it. I just have other mystery thrillers I would like to get to. I'm Not Done With You Yet. I've heard it's like Killing Eve, but Killing Eve is just okay for me. It's not like my favorite thing. I need you to read this. Something about this does intrigue me, so maybe I'll hold on to it. I'm not sure. The Bandit Queens, though, I've heard is kind of like Finley Donovan. It sounds like a good time. I just don't really love this cover. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, which I may actually go ahead and keep and put on my classics shelf. It's just such a big hefty size, and there's like a big slit or rip in the cover. It's such a cute illustrated edition. I may end up keeping this. I don't know. This is a really pretty book. I like Alice in Wonderland, but it's not like my favorite classic, you know? The Last Flower Bride. I've never read anything by this author. It's very small. I was tempted to keep it, but I can always re-buy it later. We have The Locked Door, which I recently just read by Frida McFadden. Actually, I think it's one of my favorites from her, but I feel like her books, you can just read them and then get rid of them. It's a good time, but once you've read it once, you know, you're never gonna reread it. Parents' Weekend by Alex Finley. This recently came out. The publisher sent it to me. Honestly, I just don't have any interest, so maybe one of you guys will. Another Fine Mess by Lindy Ryan is the second book to Bless Your Heart. Still haven't read Bless Your Heart. The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. I loved this book when it first came out. Really what made me love Ruth Ware, I think this was actually the first that I read from her. Don't feel a need to reread. We have some Christmas books. Marmee, a novel of Little Women. I just feel like around Christmas time I want a really fun, lighthearted rom-com or something, and I've heard this book will make you cry. Don't think that's gonna be for me. I have A Holiday by Gaslight. Love this book. Love the cover. It's a very small like Regency novella. Kind of small to keep on the shelf. The Most Wonderful Time of the Year by Allie Carter. Really did love this and enjoy this one, but again, it's a Christmas book. I'm not a Christmas book rereader. Like I said, we have Four Aunties and a Wedding. Don't know if I'll ever read this one. Really do love Jessie Q Sutanto though. We have The Friend Zone. The only reason I'm getting rid of this one is because I have a newer, fresh copy that is, I think, signed by the author. I just ended up with this used copy somehow, so I don't need two. The Bromance Book Club. I don't think this is going to be my type of romance. Twilight, which you guys know I read the first book for the very first time last year. I definitely don't feel like I need to read the rest of them at this point in my life. I really do love and appreciate the movies. They are so entertaining. It's kind of like a comfort series for me, but I just don't think in regards to the books I'm ever gonna read them or finish off the series. Keeper of the Lost Cities is such a big series. My sisters love it. They are always begging me to read it, but I just don't want to have an entire shelf of this series, so I think I'll get it to the library if I still have some interest in it at some point. The Grey Seer, absolutely love this. One of the more like Hunger Games best dystopian books out there. I don't think she's written anything since though, so that makes me really sad. I may end up keeping this for nostalgic reasons because I really do love this one. I just don't feel the need to keep it. I have some sort of special edition of Where Dreams Descend. I think this is a duology. This is really pretty and it's actually signed. I love a good circus or magician vibe, but like I can just reread Caraval or something. We have The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. This book just intimidates me. I'm not gonna lie, it just intimidates me. Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. I have tried to read this and picked it up so many summers in a row, but for some reason all of the new releases get in the way. I'm just tired of looking at this. The Bane Witch, that is from a publisher. I just like cozy, cute witches, and I don't think this is gonna be the exact witchy vibe that I'm looking for. The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. I got this copy really cheap. It's very intimidating to me, honestly. I don't know when I'm ever going to be in the mood for this. Girls Made of Snow and Glass I've kept because I feel like this would be a good wintry fantasy, but it honestly just doesn't have great reviews. Okay, we are on to our final stack. I have Priory or Prairie of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I really would love to read the Bone Season series before I ever dive into this one. This is massive, and quite frankly, I just do not want to take up half a shelf with this big chunky book. Firebird, which I realized just came out, but upon further research and looking at reviews, there's some content in this one that I just don't think is going to be my cup of tea in regards to the romance. The Inheritance of Orchida Divina I've heard is really great. I've heard it's more magical realism though. I've just had this book for far too long. I also have The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich, which I could be swayed to keep. I have seen this book around a lot, and I know she's going to come out with a new book, which I do actually want to read, so maybe I'll read that one and then rebuy this at some point if I really do like it. And then I have the Nevernight series by Jay Kristoff, which I have very fond memories of reading when I first started like my whole booktube career. I really did like Nevernight a lot, and I don't know how I ended up with this Waterstones signed edition from the author, but hopefully one of you guys will be interested in this because it's such a cool book, but it's just not one of my favorite series. Last but not least, I have a couple Fairy Loot and Owl Crate editions. This is the first Fairy Loot that I ever got, to Cage of God. I really hate this cover. That is the biggest reason why I'm getting rid of this. I love the sprayed edges and I love how wintry it looks. It honestly looks like it's set in the world of Frozen. I haven't been hearing much about that, but it is beautiful. Castle of the Cursed, which is like a gothic vampire story. Honestly, not my jam, but it is very, very beautiful. The Song of the Six Realms I think is actually Owl Crate. It's a young adult by Judy I. Lin. This is really pretty, you guys. I love this, but it's just not high on my radar. And last but not least, I have The Scorpion and the Night Blossom, which recently came out, but I just don't feel the need to own it. It does sound right up my alley, which is why I got it, but the longer I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know. Okay friends, thank you so incredibly much for walking with me on this chaotic journey. I cannot tell you how much better I feel. It's like I physically feel a weight lifted from my shoulders, knowing that I only have just books that I really, really, really want to read. I mean, look at back here. There's nothing on my TBR cart now, so we definitely have a little bit of room to grow. But I think now that I've done this, I'm also going to start a series on my channel of writing down all of the physical books that I own, putting them in a jar, and maybe picking them to continue my backlist takedown series, because I've not done an episode in that series in a really long time. I absolutely love this. This is so satisfying to look at, and it just makes me so happy. So I definitely encourage you to create shelves and create a space that just makes you happy. It doesn't matter what other people think. I mean, again, my shelves are very basic. They're just from Target. They don't have to be the biggest, best shelves to make you happy. I hope this encourages you to do some unhauled hauling for yourself, please go check out my Pango books. These will probably be up shortly after this video goes up, and I would love it so much if you would check it out. But thank you for watching this video. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next one.